Welcome to another episode of Marine Science Facts. Today we will explore a brand new study.
Imagine a vast, shimmering expanse of ocean stretching from the sunny shores of Baja California all the way up to the frigid Gulf of Alaska. Now, picture this ocean not in its usual vibrant hues, but rather tainted by an invisible force. A scorching marine heat wave that settled over the Pacific coast of North America between 2014 and 2016. This wasn't just a warm spell. It was the longest marine heat wave ever recorded globally, with temperatures soaring 2 to 6 degrees Celsius above historical averages for a prolonged period. Scientists aptly nicknamed its initial mass of warm water the Blob. This extraordinary event didn't just raise temperatures. It rewrote the rules of life in the ocean, revealing a chilling preview of what our future oceans might look like under ongoing climate change. Researchers from the University of Victoria's Baum Lab meticulously pieced together findings from over 300 studies, creating a comprehensive overview of the heat wave's devastating ecological impacts. The direct impact of this persistent warmth was immediate and widespread. Species across the Pacific began to flee north, desperately seeking cooler waters. An astonishing 240 different species were found outside their typical geographic ranges, with many, like the northern right whale dolphin and the sea slug Placida cremoniana, traveling over 1,000 kilometers further north than ever before. This included many invertebrates with their easily dispersed larval stages, as well as fish like swordfish and wahoo, and even some birds and marine mammals. Some species even moved from offshore environments closer to the coast or shifted their usual habitat use entirely. But the warmth wasn't just changing addresses. It was creating a breeding ground for disaster. One of the most horrifying consequences was the explosion of sea star wasting disease, SSWD. While the disease appeared just before the heat wave, the elevated ocean temperatures drastically fueled its spread and severity. This devastating disease decimated sea star populations, including the crucial sunflower sea star, Pycnopodia helianthoides, which became functionally extinct across vast stretches of the coast, from Baja California to Washington, with over 99% losses. Other key predators like the ochre star, Pisaster acraceus, also suffered massive declines. The loss of these predators created cascading effects throughout the ecosystem, akin to pulling a critical thread from a finely woven tapestry. With the sea stars gone, their primary prey, sea urchins, multiplied unchecked, overgrazing and transforming once thriving kelp forests into barren underwater landscapes, known as urchin barrens. Kelp forests themselves withered and collapsed, both from this relentless grazing and from the direct stress of the warmer water. While some kelp forests showed resilience and recovered, others remained devastated for years, leading to further impacts on commercially important species like red abalone. Eelgrass meadows also suffered, with declines in shoot density linked to warming temperatures and an increase in eelgrass wasting disease. The heat wave also disrupted the very base of the ocean's food web. Higher temperatures led to stronger stratification of ocean waters, which means layers of warm water sat on top of cooler, nutrient-rich layers, preventing vital nutrients from reaching the surface. This caused a significant reduction in primary production and chlorophyll, leading to a shift in phytoplankton communities towards smaller, warm-tolerant species. Zooplankton communities also underwent a profound transformation, moving from larger, lipid-rich northern species to smaller, lipid-poor southern species. Perhaps most visually striking was the dramatic increase in gelatinous zooplankton, particularly the strange, glowing pyrosomes, which normally reside in offshore, southern waters but bloomed in unprecedented numbers across the Gulf of Alaska and British Columbia. This change in the food quality of the ocean had dire consequences for everything higher up the food chain. The altered ocean conditions also led to a massive, unprecedented toxic algal bloom of Pseudonitskia in 2015, stretching from California to British Columbia. This bloom produced a potent neurotoxin called domoic acid, which accumulated in marine animals. The consequences were tragic, Record numbers of stranded marine mammals like sea lions, dolphins, and whales suffered from domoic acid toxicosis. Seabirds also experienced widespread mass die-offs, with staggering numbers of common murres perishing due to a lack of their usual, nutritious forage fish. Many surviving seabirds and marine mammals showed signs of emaciation and had to change their foraging behaviors, sometimes feeding on unusual items like beach cast salmon. The economic fallout was immense. The toxic algal bloom, combined with changes in species interactions and habitat loss, led to hundreds of millions of dollars in losses due to the closure of multiple fisheries. The lucrative Dungeness crab fishery in California, for example, faced closures that cost over $25 million. The Pacific cod fishery in the Gulf of Alaska saw a staggering 71% decline in abundance, leading to reduced landings that persisted for years after the heat wave. Recreational fisheries, like the razor clam fishery, were also severely affected. Paradoxically, some species like shrimp and prawns saw increases in landings, and opportunistic fisheries, such as those for market squid, developed further north of their usual ranges. The effects of this multi-year heat wave were so profound because they persisted through multiple seasons and generations of some shorter-lived species, allowing impacts to compound over time. Even after the main heat wave dissipated in southern regions, its effects lingered in British Columbia and Alaska, with some impacts only reaching their peak in 2017 or later. The Blob taught us a critical lesson. Marine heat waves don't just directly stress individual organisms. They trigger complex, far-reaching indirect effects that reshape entire ecosystems. These cascading impacts, from disease outbreaks to food web unraveling, often lead to unexpected consequences that simple models focused on single species cannot predict. As marine heat waves become more frequent and intense under climate change, this event serves as a stark warning and an urgent call to action. We need to strengthen marine conservation efforts, prioritize climate mitigation, and develop proactive, adaptive strategies to help our oceans endure the warming world. The fragility of marine ecosystems demands our immediate attention and concerted research efforts to understand, predict, and mitigate the impacts of these extreme climatic events.
If you enjoyed today's content, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that notification bell. Let us know in the comments which fascinating ocean facts you want to hear more about.